That night, the dog was unusually restless. It stayed quietly by its pregnant owner's bedside, refusing to sleep. Suddenly, Lisa was jolted awake by sharp pain. She was going into labor. The dog immediately jumped onto the bed, frantically licking Mike's face, trying to wake him up. Startled, Mike rushed to get the baby stroller. The dog, excited, tried to help, furiously tearing into the packaging, ripping the box apart. Then Mike grabbed the car keys and dashed to the hospital with Lisa, leaving behind a toy bone for the dog. This time, for the first time ever, the dog didn't destroy the house while alone. Instead, it stayed put, chewing on the bone, playing until it eventually fell asleep. Not long after, Lisa returned home, cradling the newborn baby. The dog curiously gazed at the tiny bundle in her arms. From that moment on, something in it changed. Whenever Lisa was busy with work, the dog would quietly lie on the floor, patiently keeping the little one company. Years flew by in the blink of an eye. Lisa was now a mother of 3, exhausted from taking care of the children every day. One morning, bored out of its mind, the dog chewed up one of Lisa's books. Furious, Lisa chased it around the house, scolding it non-stop. Mike chuckled and said, "You didn't get mad when it used to wreck the whole house. It's just a book." But Lisa, still annoyed, kept mumbling complaints. That afternoon, after a long, tiring day, Lisa finally managed to get the kids to sleep. She lay on the bed, relishing a rare moment of peace. Just then, a honking sound came from outside. The dog immediately perked up. Lisa pleaded, "Please, don't make a sound." But the next second, the dog let out a loud bark and dashed out of the room, barking furiously at the window. The kids woke up crying, their wails echoing through the house. Lisa was completely overwhelmed. She quickly soothed the youngest child, then turned to the dog and angrily shooed it away. The dog ran into the living room and accidentally knocked over the eldest child. Just at that moment, Mike walked through the door. Lisa finally exploded. She ordered Mike to get rid of the dog. No arguments. With no other choice, Mike took the dog to a friend's house to stay for a while. But the moment they arrived, the dog chewed up a designer handbag. Disgusted, the friend immediately turned them away. Left with no options, Mike went back home to negotiate with Lisa. But by then, Lisa had already calmed down. She sighed and apologized to Mike, saying, "The dog is family, and when family has problems, we solve them together." Years passed, and the children grew up. The dog remained playful, but it had become an irreplaceable part of the family. Every afternoon, the dog would wait patiently by the roadside, eyes fixed on the distance, eagerly anticipating the children's return. The moment they arrived, it would joyfully run home with them. At night, it would snuggle onto their beds, refusing to leave. But time is merciless, and the dog was slowly growing old. One day, it was rummaging through the trash can when Mike came home. He called the dog's name, but it didn't react. Mike froze. He watched as the dog staggered, its steps unsteady. Worried, he took it outside for a walk, but the dog could barely keep up. Mike softly said, "If that day ever comes, I hope you'll tell me, okay?" The dog gazed at him in silence. It didn't respond. It simply stayed beside him, quietly watching the distant horizon.